The year is 2025, Year of the Snakes, according to the Eastern Zodiac at the very least. And Pokemon has acknowledged this by doing a snake outbreak in Scarlet and Violet. But, more importantly, 2025 is when fans expect the long-awaited Pokemon Legends ZA to be released. And here's the kicker. This next installment to the main series was announced 1 whole year ago, with no new official information in between, giving people hope that maybe the developers were given more time to polish the game. Or maybe it was just delayed to line up with the release of their next console. Either way, what we do know is that the Pokemon Center just announced that they declared this year to be the Year of Eevee. What could this mean? Though other game franchises have had year-long celebrations of a specific character, this is a first for the Pokemon franchise. So what could the Year of Eevee mean for Pokemon Legends ZA? We'll go over several talking points while I show off some speculative art I made. So let's start with hypothesis number 1. Nothing. Okay, let's get the bummer out of the way. Currently, the Year of Eevee has been declared by the Pokemon Center, the official store for Pokemon merchandise. Other official Pokemon channels have yet to acknowledge the event, including the Pokemon Center's own Twitter account. It seems very likely that this whole event is just for the merchandise, which does make up a majority of Pokemon's wealth. However, wanna hear some misplaced optimism? Come on, you know it's fun to do so. See, Pokemon already has a bunch of Eevee merchandise. Plus, Eevee Month was already a thing the Pokemon Center held for the past several years. Sure, they revealed a few new plushies, but what else could be new enough to sell throughout the whole year? What if this is just buttering up the fans before dropping merch for a new design? A new evolution? Even though fans a few generations ago expected new evolutions whenever a new game dropped, most have been pretty satisfied with the fact that Sylveon is probably the last evolution we'll ever get. And Sylveon has been quite a fitting finale, as it was announced with the last new full type of the game. Ever since Sylveon, there have been multiple animations and in-game references to show Eevee with their 8 evolutions. But Eevee actually didn't stop with Sylveon. Technically, in the following generation, Eevee was a box mascot alongside Pikachu in a retelling of the Kanto story, with partner Eevee, who's technically different from any old Eevee as they have their own stats and can't evolve. Okay, but seriously, Pokemon found another way to capitalize on Eevee's popularity by giving them a gimmick form. In Generation 8's Sword and Shield, some Pokemon were given Gigantamax forms. And while Eevee also received special treatment in the previous generation's gimmick, Gen 7 Z-moves were just animations. But here, with Gigantamax forms, Eevee actually gained a new design to add to their family. Eevee is just that popular and valuable, I suppose. All of this is to say, what if we do get a new design in Legends ZA? Namely, what if we get a new evolution? Mind you, Legends ZA is about Lumio City, a revisit to the Kalos region, the same region that Sylveon was introduced. So what type would this new evolution be? I personally think one of the remaining types stands out amongst the others. Back up till Generation 3, the physical special split in Pokemon was dependent on type. In fact, every evolution type was a special type, except for the base Eevee's normal and Sylveon's fairy, which was introduced after the physical special split was no longer type-based. The one remaining special type is Dragon. So what if the Dragon evolution was elusive due to the overwhelming presence of fairies in the region? So I was looking up Serpentine dragons, as it's the Year of Snakes and all, and upon looking for French dragons for Kalos, the basilisk was mentioned. Not to be confused with the real-life species of South American lizards who are fast enough to walk on water. The direct origins of the European mythical basilisk are debated, and there are a wide variety of interpretations, from serpent to cockatrice. I went more of a cockatrice route here, where the wings became stylized ears, which made the design closer to a papillon dog breed. So with all of that, I cooked up the frightening and terrifying Basilion. Yeah, that's the thing about evolutions, right? They're all cute, being the most marketable plushies as they could be. I tried to do different shapes by accentuating the tail and shrinking the body, even though that's less probable considering how similar the body layouts have been since the first generation. But screw that, I just wanted to offer something unique and fun. Maybe Basileon's massive tail can be posed to wrap around the body, or have Basileon hug it to become a more compact plushie. But yeah, how would this evolution be achieved in the games? I think it could be as simple as having a new item. I mean, every new evolution in Legends Arceus was either through using a new move or a new item. And heck, Dragon would also make sense given how we assume Zygarde would be playing a big role in Legends EA. But now let's think about what we do know about Legends EA. Let's talk about Mega Evolutions. How can we add a Mega Evolution to the Eevee family? When the Gigantamax form was added, it was just for Eevee, not their evolutions. But every Mega Evolution Pokemon back in the 6th generation only worked on Pokemon that don't further evolve. Now, Pokemon has broken many of their past conventions before, even here where special gimmick treatments have immediately been given to non-fully evolved Mons in Gen 7 and 8. But how likely would it be for non-fully evolved Mons to get a Mega Evolution this time? In other words, why was this rule established in the first place? Aesthetically, Megas were further additions to a line. No matter how big a Pokemon family is, Pokemon still doesn't want to have more than one middle stage at a time, maybe because middle stagers are easier to forget. So even if Megas were a way to reference older lines, the new form is mentioned to be temporary, as the strongest forms of the Pokemon are pushed past their limits. But mechanically, not every final stage is necessarily the strongest form of the Pokemon, as non-fully evolved Pokemon can use the Eviolite item to boost their defenses. The Mega Gimmick was an option for certain Pokemon who would hold their Mega Stone instead of any other competitive item, and their transformation yielded a stat spread with 100 more points and in a few cases, a new typing. By the way, Mega Rayquaza didn't have this item requirement, as if a Mega of a legendary needed to be even stronger. But yeah, a Mega non-fully evolved Pokemon has to be compared to the Eviolite set, and more importantly, their evolution. On paper, I think it's possible, but this might make the evolution feel like a downgrade. So is it possible that non-fully evolved Pokemon could get a Mega this time around? Numbers say yes, but history and aesthetics say no. I say it's unlikely, but Pokemon does like to throw curveballs. Now, could there be a Mega Eevee? Oh, I doubt that even further, especially with Eevee already having a G-Max form. So how could the Eevee family get a Mega Evolution? One route is to give Megas to every evolution. I'm not drawing all of that, but I did draw something like that several years ago, where they gained special forms themed off of fantasy classes. While giving a Mega to everyone is fair, I have a hard time believing that 8 of the new designs in Legends EA would be from this family, given how there are around 25 new designs in Legends Arceus. So what if there was only one evolution getting a Mega? Well, I would say it'll be given to Kalos's very own Sylveon. Now, Sylveon's main distinguishing trait seemed to be their ribbons, and that's where I noticed that the ribbons come out of their butterfly bows. So what if the bow on their ear becomes animated through fairy magic and flutters around the Sylveon, giving them a Sailor Moon-esque transformation to become the protector of the forest? Sylveon already elicits a lot of that magical girl vibe, so I wanted this design to lean into it. Also, I couldn't decide whether the shiny should reference the old shiny or Sailor Moon, so I ended up making 2 shinies here. So the reality is that the Year of Eevee probably means nothing for the game. It just feels like a shame because a Year of Eevee could have gone pretty hard for Pokemon, with spin-off games and new designs. I guess Pokemon doesn't need to do anything as they'll sell well regardless, but I think it's still fun to imagine. Alright, on the day that I'm uploading this video, Pokemon's trading card game announced an evolution-based pack. Is it proof that the Year of Eevee can affect the games like Legends EA, or would it still only be celebrated by the Pokemon Center? I'm willing to listen to your comments on the matter. Maybe these concepts don't exist in the game, but they exist here right now, and that's the power of art. Speaking of, if you enjoyed these kind of designs, check out my other videos where I often go over some of my other creature designs. As I continue to work on my own creature collection off screen, I plan on doing more Legends EA videos, depending on when the game is set to come out. But yeah, if you liked the video, follow along. I got a lot of plans for the year. Special thank you to my Patreon members for directly supporting me, but you can support me for free by just liking and sharing the video. Alright, thank you for watching. and may you have a fortunate new year, regardless of what month you hear this.